Travel with me. Rotorua and Wellington, New Zealand. Hi, this is Ethan. Welcome to Travel with me. We continue our journey in the North Island of New Zealand. We started from Rotorua and ended in Wellington. Rotorua sits in the middle of New Zealand's North Island, on a great volcanic plateau where the earth is still rumbling and changing. Scientists call it one of the most geothermally active places on the entire planet. The Maori people have lived here in this region for around 700 years, using the geothermal waters for cooking, bathing, and eating. One of Rotorua's most exciting sights is a geyser. A geyser is a special kind of hot spring that builds up pressure underground until it explodes upwards in a powerful jet of boiling water and steam. Rotorua's most famous geyser is Potu. Potu means constant splashings in the Reo Maori. It erupts up to 20 times a day, shooting hot water as high as 30 meters into the air. You can hear Potu before you see it. The ground here wasn't just dirt, it was alive. This was a geothermal mud pool where volcanic heat was deep underground, bubbles up and turns the soil into extraordinary silvery gray mud. It is very different from a geyser, which dramatically shoots boiling water high into the air. A mud pool just sighs and bubbles quietly, like the earth whispering into the shadow. We had learned a lot about Maori culture on our trip, but nothing prepared me for coming face to face with a waka towel, a traditional Maori war canoe. The prow was covered in the most incredible wood carving, with swirling patterns called kawaii, and fierce ancestral figures with wide eyes inlaid with shimmering hollow shell. A plume of white feathers crowned the very top, adding to its power and majesty. This is a traditional Maori hara, a thatched dwelling built from rope, needs reeds, and harakeke flags, just as Maori constructed their homes before European arrival. Before European settlers arrived, these clever structures were home to Maori wanderers, or families who used every plant around them to build, weave, and survive. Standing before us was the snow-capped volcano Rapuhu. This mighty mountain sits in Toguru National Park, in the central North Island of New Zealand, and is actually still an active volcano, meaning it can rumble in the road. Does the scene look familiar? The dark, rocky slopes and wide open plains were used as a terrifying land of Mordor in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies. Now let us move to the city, Wellington, the capital of New Zealand. Wellington sits at the southern tip of North Island, where Cook Strait funnels wild winds straight into the city, earning it the title of the windiest capital city in the world. This is the Beehive, the iconic executive wing of the New Zealand's Parliament buildings in Wellington. That's where the Prime Minister and Cabinet Ministers have their offices. Next stop, the Wellington Cable Car. This cool modern building with its tall wooden poles out front into the lower term. Right in the heart of the city, the cable car has been carrying passengers up the steep hill of Wellington since 1902. It climbs all the way up to the suburb of Kelburn, where you get the most amazing views over the harbour and the whole city below. Here is the cable car. The bright red carriages have been climbing to the steep hill from Lambton Quay up to Kelburn, making it one of New Zealand's oldest and most iconic forms of transport. Can you spot the Wellington cable car written on the white banner? The ride takes just 5 minutes, traveling at a gentle speed that gives you plenty of time to enjoy the views. Each carriage holds around 40 passengers, and the cable car carries over 1 million people per year, locals and visitors alike. We can't always get blue skies, and within this is a perfectly normal near the waterfront stands a giant waka a traditional Māori double-head voyaging canoe. Rising out of the ground, it was ready to sail straight into the harbor. The wood was dark and weathered, and the car panels fanned out like wings caught mid-flight. Walking closer to the waka I could see the most beautiful details carved into each wooden panel. Swirling patterns called tau mako, the traditional Maori art of carving, etched deep into the pale weathered timber. Each panel stood upright like a soil catching the harbor wind, telling stories of great ocean voyages across the Pacific. It reminded me that Maori were among the greatest navigators the world has ever known. Along the waterfront, we nearly walked right past this, a flat stone slab with a poem carved right into it. Sitting beside the sparkling harbor, this is one of Wellington's waterfront poetry stones. Flat concrete slabs with poetry carved in raised lettering placed right along the harbor edge. The poem reads, "The harbor is an ironing board, flat iron tugs dash smoothing toward any shirt of a ship. Any pillow ship of a freighter, they decree must be ironed flat as washing from the sea. It is attributed to Dennis Glover, a celebrated New Zealand poet. The poem uses a clever everyday metaphor, comparing harbor's tugboats sweeping in the water around ships to a hot iron pressing out wrinkles in shirts and pillowships. It's a playful, witty, and very willing. Wellington has a wonderful tradition of placing decorated public pianos along the waterfront for anyone to play. The piano is beautifully pointed in swirling blues and greens, almost like the ocean waves right beside it. For many of you worry about the rain as I do, no worries. The pianos are meant for dry days and are typically moved indoors or covered when Wellington's famous rain arrives. In Maori tradition, the black swan, known as a water, is a symbol of grace and resilience. Much like the Maori people themselves, ka kite ano, Wellington until we meet again.